All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. It's Pastor Dow. A little off subject here for a second, but on subject, all right? I really, truly wish I could get this younger generation to really listen to me. I really, truly do. Of course, there's been another woman busted. It was a white woman who had alleged that two black football players raped her. And of course, what did this do? The college is crying wolf and saying that, well, we actually protect our information and stuff from the general public and stuff, and we keep it confidential, etc. Blase, blase, blase. What happens is that anytime a woman alleges that someone rapes, it's just like anything with the system. They tell you that you're innocent until proven guilty, but they treat you guilty until you're proven innocent. And that's just the way it is. So in other words, you are guilty until proven innocent, and they treat you as such. And you know that they treat you as such because they lock you up, and they wait for somebody to come and pull some money. So that's what it's all about. It's all about money. It ain't about righteousness and justice. I keep trying to tell people over and over again, justice and righteousness is how much money you have in this country. And you're not going to sue too many people, especially people who have means, what's called money, unless you've got money. Other than that, you're going to bite the bullet, be bitter, and leave it at that. But there's a woman, they come to find out that this woman, over a period of a couple of years, investigation, that they lied. What's ironic about this is that the cops believed this woman's story without even really truly letting the so-called system play out. Well, not too long ago, it was years ago in the ministry, we had a young girl come into the ministry, a very good-looking young teenage girl. You know what I mean? 18 years old, getting ready to go to school, and all this other good stuff, blase, blase, blase. So, I'm a pastor. What do? I sit down with her, I have a long talk, because you have to understand that she has lived what we call the life of holiness, set apart and stuff, and she has been taught about how the way world, runs pretty extensive. And I told her everything she can expect at school, even though her parents disagreed and stuff. She was determined she was going to go to school. You know how it is. Pastor Dow's an old fart, man. He don't understand. Yeah, it's a different generation. Of course, this younger generation has this dissidence about them. They think that just because things happen in our generation, it's never going to happen to them. And they're pretty arrogant. Well, anyway, I talked to her about not being in certain places, and not going out and getting caught up in the rat race of so-called fun, and never, ever, ever go to frat parties, stuff like that. Stay away from, be very selective about your friends. Now, do I not care about her? Well, anyway, nevertheless, what happens? Well, she goes to school, and I'm telling you, she's a very nice-looking young lady. She goes to school and ignores everything. Oh, I got new friends and everything up. So next thing you know, the head cover comes off, the makeup comes on, the skirts stop with one, tight pants and everything else. And anyway, what does she do? She ended up finding herself in a place that she shouldn't have been. That I will mind you, I'm going to warn you that Pastor Dow told her she shouldn't have been. And of course, all girls are young and naive, especially, they are. And of course, she finds herself doing something she shouldn't have been doing, drinking something she shouldn't have been drinking. And the next thing you know, she gets gang raped. Yep, you got it. Yep, but Pastor Dow don't know nothing. Next thing you know, parents want to come to me crying wolf about their rebellious daughter, blase, blase, blase. Daughter's mad. She's mad at the world. Mad at me because I told her about it and she didn't take heed. Mad at her parents. Mad at the world. Mad at the people who raped her. Mad at people who don't believe her. And it's just sickening. That's what it is. It's just literally sickening that you can tell people what not to do in order to protect them and preserve their best interest in mind, have their best interest in mind. They totally ignore your counsel and don't want to hear a word you have to say because they deem you out of touch and old-fashioned. Well, needless to say, I don't think she ever graduated school. She ain't never been married, and 2-3 children later with no husband. Isn't that a turn of events, huh? For someone who allegedly is supposed to have a promising future. This happens all the time. All the time it happens. Hey, but what does Pastor Dow know? I can't tell him too much of nothing. That's why the government, they often say we're doing it for the children. Well, when I preach and teach, I do it for the children. You may not like the way that I present the message or bring forth the message. I don't mind telling you that I bring it forth tough. I really, truly do. Because we live in tough times. I remember when I went to United States Army Airborne School, them black ass didn't care nothing about my feelings or emotions. When I went to the U.S. Army Air Assault School, they didn't care nothing about my feelings and emotions. As a matter of fact, when you went to that school, they did everything they could, the cadre did, to make sure you quit. They wanted you to quit. Now, isn't that ironic? When you go to these different skill identifiers in the Army, be they Special Forces, Navy SEALs, Scuba School, U.S. Army Airborne School, Air Assault School, Recon, no matter whatever it is, whatever school you go to, which most of you people in the civilian world is just not familiar with this. Why would you go to a school, sign up for a particular school that's going to give you a special skill? You're going to be more skillful than other people in the military. And then when you get there, the first thing they do is they send you through either a hell day or hell week or hell months. And the whole sole purpose of that is they want to make you quit. What is the purpose of that? Well, the purpose of that is that they're testing your psychological makeup. And they're seeing if you really truly got it, because the truth is, more than likely you're going to end up going to a unit. More than likely you're going to end up going to a place where you're going to be in high stressed areas. And you can't be cracking under pressure when the stress level gets up, when tensions start running high, and when fear starts staring you right in your face again. So they figured out the best way to do this is to psychologically destroy you and see how mentally either weak or strong you are. And then those who are mentally strong, you'll make the cut. Those who are mentally weak, you'll be out. And you won't believe how many people I've seen literally cry alligator tears and fall out simply because they couldn't handle the stress of the situation. Most of you will never have an experience and never understand the reason why that a lot of times veterans, especially if they've been in for some time, they don't have a lot of time for foolishness. Kind of like coaches, you know what I mean? If you had a collegiate coach, you ever watched them coach? Man, they would call them schizophrenic, militant bastards, wouldn't they? That's because they ain't got no time for a bunch of foolishness. They don't. You know, it's sad. I try my best to preserve the younger generation from a lot of hurt, harm, and danger. But today, they act like that they want to run to it. And then I never go and tell them that I told you so. If I get a chance to meet them, I never do. Because they've already endured enough pain and suffering. But see, now the tide is turning. Now the tide is turning because, see, a lot of these women have lied on a lot of men and have gotten a lot of people in trouble. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. So the women, hey, most people are not believing you no more when you're in the wrong place where you shouldn't be, at the wrong time where you shouldn't be, and you're crying wolf that somebody done raped you. And in this particular news instance right here, this woman went into a bathroom with two guys and had consensual sex with them, and then later on she want to call it rape. She got caught. See, and you know, young people, they're out there on their social media. They talk about their whole life. They put pictures out there. And come to find out, they found out how she was talking to these guys. And so then, when the rubber met the road that day, all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. She got bit or something. Maybe one of them didn't want her or something like that. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I do know this. She wouldn't file a police report, lied on the men. Come to find out, she fabricated the whole story. What can we do with a generation that won't listen? I mean, truth is, I would love for young women to be able to have a husband, have a nice home, nice life, have children, raise them in the right way, and live a quiet and peaceful life. Nobody wants that today. Everybody wants to go out and shake their tail, show their breasts, have men flopping all over them, and then when the wrong one flops on, they want to cry wolf, cry rape, and everything else, and they put themselves in that situation. Then it wasn't too long after that, somebody put something in somebody's drink, they got raped too. And you know, Pastor Dow I try my best to talk to these people, but nobody seems to want to listen today. So what can you say to this generation? Maybe you have something you can say better than I could, because the one thing that you can't keep people from, that's themselves. And that's the truth, and that's the true straight way.